Hi teachers, this is a demonstration on how to create book projects in MyOn to help hold your students accountable during their independent reading time. You can assign them books using the projects feature, and then you will be able to view their progress on graphic organizers and highlighting and sticky notes and just how they keep up with the books. So I'm going to click on the Classrooms tab at the top, and I'm going to click in Projects. You'll see I have one active project that I've created from scratch, meaning I picked the book and the assignment. You can see there are books, and then the other icon indicates that there's a graphic organizer to go with it. Below are all these inactive projects. Most of these are ones that I have searched for in the FCPS cloud and basically made a copy for myself that I can go back and edit later. These book sets are ones the county's put together, mostly dealing with science and social studies topics. To find those, you switch the top to the cloud version, you search FCPS, and I think about 100 book projects show up. I'm going to scroll down to one called Landforms that I've looked at a little bit, so that's 5th grade. You can see it's just a book set, there's no other assignments to it. When you click to view it, it shows you all of the books the county put in here that have to do with landforms. I'm going to copy it to my projects, so it just makes me a copy of it, and I'm going to call it Cassidy's example and leave that with part of the title. If I wanted to make a due date, I could put it here. The description is only for teachers to see up there. The project objective is what you put for the students to learn about landforms. So I'm just going to make a quick note for it right now. You can always edit that later. For this project, because it's one the county has created, you don't add the reading task, meaning you don't add the books. The books are already here. So to see the books, because I noticed that list was rather extensive, I can see this whole list of books. For the purpose of the demonstration, I just want to show you how you could then take the book list and make it your own. So I'm going to click Manage Books. If there are books you aren't familiar with, you can click to read them. You can sometimes just eliminate certain ones. This one says grades 3 to 9, so I'm just going to uncheck it. And for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm really only going to leave a couple of books on mountains. Actually, let's just do earthquakes and tsunamis and volcanoes. So let's take everything else off. So maybe we just wanted to get the kids reading some of those books. So I'm going to uncheck all these other ones. There's no save. I click out of it. Now you can see my list is down to 4 books. So you can manage the book list however you want. You can even make different sets for different groups. Maybe up in the title, let me get out of there. In the title of this project, you might call it Group 1, Landforms, and that might be a certain set of books on a certain level. Group 2 could be another books on a different book on a reading level, and then you could assign it to different groups of kids that way. I'm going to leave it with just those 4 books. Let's say I wanted to assign them a graphic organizer to go with it, so I click on that, and I'm going to do a Landforms KWL. Or disasters KWL. And then I could list some information in here about what they know, what they learned, and what they want to know. I would put detailed descriptions in here about how to fill out the graphic organizer, and to remind them to revisit it after reading the books to fill out the, these are backwards, to fill out the what they learned. So what they know, what they want to know, and then what they learned. I know I turned off the thing. So then I would have those 2 things. I'm going to reorder them differently. I'm going to put the KWL first, and then I would have my books on landforms. If you wanted to add a writing task, you could click this, and you could add a title to the writing task, and maybe assign them a writing assignment or a summary to do on one of the books from the book set. So you could let them choose. And again, that is here as well. I'm going to delete the writing task. Well, let's see if it lets me save it. No, because every task requires a title. So I didn't think. So the writing task I'm going to delete because I didn't give it a title. Are you sure you want to delete this? Yes. So now I've just got my graphic organizer and my reading task. Perfect. Save it. It's saved. It's not an active project. It's not assigned to anybody. It just saves at the end of my list. I could always edit it, go back, add other information in, add more detail to my directions. When it's ready, you click Assign. You won't have as many students as I have. You choose your grade. I've got the whole grade. If you wanted to assign the same book set to the whole class, you check the box at the top, gets all of them. If you uncheck that, let me get them out of there. If you had groups, your group 1, group 2, group 3, based on reading levels, you could assign this particular book set to your group 1. You could then choose a second book set to assign to another group. That's how you would assign it to students. If you wanted to do like I did with the little red hen here and create your own project, you simply click Create New, and it looks the same, except now you give it your own title. So I'm just going to type some nonsense in there. You do your own description. You pick your due date. You give it a project objective. The one I did with the little red hen was on character traits. I'll show you the sample the real one that I made in a moment, just showing you how I created it. Notice this one has no books, so I have to add the book. I go to the reading task. Again, I'm going to title it The Little Red Hen. You would put your objectives about character traits. There's no books assigned, so I manage books. This time I search for the book. When you do this, it's easier if you've already searched and explored the library to find titles of books that you want to use. I forgot the word hen. Try again. There it is. It's this first book. I check it. I click out. Now that book is assigned. So there is a reading task called The Little Red Hen. Because I was doing character traits, I wanted to see if there was a character web, and there is. It's right here. So I'm just going to call this character map. It looks like it calls it /web. In the task objective, I would say to show that you can describe the traits of a character in detail, and I would explain that the character's name goes in the middle and all the different directions. If I then wanted to add a writing assignment, I could do that to then write a paragraph, a summary of the character. So then they could use their character web to put it into a nice paragraph, and I would put those directions in the task objective. So they're going to read, they're going to complete the graphic organizer, and then they're going to write based on what's in the graphic organizer. I could say save and assign. The real one that I did create, I'm going to click edit so you can see. I put my title, I did a specific objective with directions, and you can see my reading task. I gave them specifics on highlighting the describing words, different colored highlighters to use, and then I gave them directions on the character map. I'm just going to say save again. If I wanted to view this project that the students are now working on, I've assigned it to all of third grade. I've only had one tech class so far. 22 students have started it. I can view their work by clicking the eye. It takes you into the students' names. I'm going to click on the green check because she's already started it. I can view her book to see what she's highlighted, see what sticky notes she's added to the book. I can add my own sticky notes to the book. You can see she's highlighted some things here. You can add sticky notes to the book. She's already added some sticky notes of her own to this page that you can view. If I wanted to leave a comment, I could click the pin icon and pin my sticky note. You simply would type your note here, and then this sends it up so it's here for her to read. I'm going to delete it because it's not real. You could then close out once you've observed what you needed to see from that student. I'm going to go back to my project view. Since I assigned a graphic organizer, I can switch to the top, and I can see she's started the graphic organizer on the hen. She said didn't get help from others, did everything work, so she does have some describing words in there. I'm going to go back, and you can look at all the kids' different projects that way to view it. That's basically how you create projects. It's important to note that kids can highlight, add sticky notes, even do journal entries that are for them and for their own reading purposes in any book in MyOn. It's just that if it's a project, you then can go back and look at the work that they've done. You can even do reports to pull up different reading tools that they've used, and when you run the report and then when you download it as an Excel spreadsheet, it'll show you like how often they've highlighted or different notes that they've taken, and you won't be able to get that type of data if kids are just reading books on their own. So that's the advantage to using the projects feature, is that you can then go back and view what students are doing, and you can also assign books based on book levels. Email me if you have any questions or need some help. I'd love to be a resource for you, help you plan something, and even come in and work with your kids to get them started. Thanks, and have a great day.